एंड दैन ਉਹਦੀ ਨਰਸ ने ਕਹਿੰਦੇ कोई नहीं लाइक दे ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਿੰਦੀ शुरू हो गया तो आप बीमार हो जाओगे आप ऐसा करोगे वी हैव सो मैनी पेशेंट्स और उस नर्स ने मैंने ਇਹ जी गल कही ਜਿਹੜਾ कि घबराहट हो जाती कि देर आर मैनी पेशेंट्स बिफोर हिम एंड आई डोंट नो हाउ मैनी विल डाई. पैरामेडिक जब गया वे ऐसे क्या दवाइयाँ लै जा पफर लै जा कुछ नहीं लैके गया बस इंज तुसी दूर रहो. कंफर्ट करने की बड़ी कोशिश की पर एकदम उन्होंने फिर कोल्ड स्वेट्स वगैरह एकदम हो गए उन्होंने ठंड लगन लग पई अजीब जा होने लग पिया. फिर मैं पल्सोमीटर सीगा कोल थोड़ी देर पहले पल्स ठीक सी और उस टाइम देखा तो पल्स एकदम 40 हो गई. सो मैं 911 किया तोहफे तो कहना मैं नहीं जाना हॉस्पिटल इट्स अ नाइटमेयर they'll make me sit 6 hours. This is a person we didn't know he's gonna go away. These are his words. He called his dad.
And I, of course, think about the city of Brampton and Peel region, which for a long time, even before COVID-19, was in a healthcare crisis. We didn't have enough hospital beds in Brampton. And for example, the numbers tell us that we have 0.96 beds per 1,000 people in Brampton. And the provincial average is actually over two hospital beds per 1,000 people. So we had less than 50% of what was happening in the average.
There may have been negligence on the part of the hospital, but I think it's part of a larger systemic issue that we need to focus on where the hospital is facing a lack of resources and there's only so much that they can do when they are so underfunded. And because Peel has been chronically underfunded for decades now, we can't expect the problem to be fixed if we just complain to the hospital staff, but rather we need to be pushing the government to give them the proper funding to be able to actually address these issues.
The province knew in February that they should have given more vaccines to hotspot regions like Brampton, like Peel region, where there's more essential workers, people who work in factories, manufacturing, work in transit, but yet they didn't do that. And when there was a big outcry and when our ICUs were overwhelmed and we had to build field hospitals, then they finally listened, and that too only for 2 weeks. So I'm worried at this time that we'll fall behind again. But we have to hold the people in power, the government, to account for what they've done.
It's a vicious circle. Something is going wrong. It's right from top to bottom and going round and round, but we are at the receiving end of it. The patients and the families are at the receiving end of it, which is very unfair.
And we just need to speak up and get involved and get organized and make sure that the government can't ignore us any longer, because these stories unfortunately have been happening for decades and will continue to happen until we push the government to make sure that we're adequately funded.